Greetings. Time for another update. If you see a sky like this in the Pacific Northwest, you might be like, oh hey, just an overcast Pacific Northwest day. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here, folks. But nope, these aren't clouds. This is actually soot and ash from forest fires. As ridiculous as that is, the fires in the west have just completely engulfed our sky. You can't hardly see the sun. Sometimes it peeks through a little bit, a little orange haziness, but I mean, this crap is falling down, landing on furniture, on cars, everything. There's just so much crap in the air. It's like, I feel like I should be using a gas mask. It's just insane. But anyway, on to the update. My deep water bed with the leafy greens are doing okay. This guy in particular seems to be doing pretty well. If you look underneath, he's got some serious roots. The others don't really, for whatever reason. The one back in there on the right, the kale seems to be doing okay. This one, that's like a lot of root mass. The others are just kind of little, but anyway, they're doing their thing. The problem, I think, the reason that they're still so small after several weeks is that I think there's too many plants in the system for the number of fish. I'm not generating enough nitrate to keep these guys fed. So, and if you look over here, these radishes are the problem, I think. They're doing great. They're in fact thriving. The cucumber there is doing pretty well. A little bit of a few blemishes on that leaf. I don't know what that is, but I'm not really a gardener, so I'll try to find out some information. The okra plant here is looking a little pale, a little yellow. The cotyledons are still green, those two starter leaves, but then these new growth leaves, especially this first one on the right, is awfully yellow. That doesn't look like a healthy leaf to me. I don't know if there's a nutrient deficiency for okra. I'll look that up and see what I can find out online. But anyway, it's alive, it's growing, it's just not looking great. So we'll see. The green bean's doing awesome. The two yellowish leaves, the big yellowish leaves, are actually the cotyledon leaves. Those are the starter leaves that come in the seed. Like, you know, when you split a seed open, you'll see a little thing that looks kind of like a plant. Well, that's what those two leaves are. That little first plant is called the cotyledon. And anyway, this is a triple new growth, and there's another new growth set, and those two are both doing great. Plant's just huge. It's doing well. It's doing really well. I think it's benefited by starting out in a system that has or starting out with a lot of nutrients from the seed. Green bean seed is big, whereas this little pepper plant here has a really small seed. You know, if you cut open a pepper, the seeds inside are those little discs. There's not a whole lot of growth material, not a lot of calories, not a lot of protein in there, and the green bean in contrast has a lot inside their seed. So I think that shows in their growth patterns. But anyway, like I said, I think there's too many radishes, there's too many plants in general for all of the plants to flourish. I think a lot of them are suffering as a result. So I think I need to thin the herd. I'm going to pull probably half of the radishes today and let the rest grow to maturity, so I get to enjoy the radish itself, the root tuber. But if there's fewer plants eating, then these guys will probably have a better chance of survival, or a better chance of growing. And that's what I want. I want all the plants to grow at least a little bit. So the real purpose, I guess, for my video today was probably pretty obvious if you're looking at the tank. It is disgusting. There's algae everywhere. It's growing out of control. Early on, the goldfish were keeping up. They were keeping the pump clean, grazing through the gravel to pick up, what algae they could out of there. Things were good, but it's just growing too fast. They can't keep up. And in fact, I think the stuff on the wall is a little too hard for them to pull off. so they don't even try. If you look here, you can see that I've scraped that algae off quite a bit with my fingers. It looks like something someone did with their hands. Well, in fact, that's what I did. And when I scraped it off, the little flakes they came off in little sheets of algae, and the fish loved it. They were pretty sure I had just come home with a bag full of candy and scattered it around, because they were swimming around like mad, picking up everything they could get their mouth on, especially Piggy Rambo there. But anyway, so I think I will scrape more, maybe not all at once, so that there's not just a ton of algae floating around, but just over time, over the next week or so, maybe I'll just scrape until I get caught up with some of this crap. But in addition, I've bought some, and you can probably see one of them swimming around right there. I bought some algae eaters. I bought 2 fish and some snails, all of which theoretically will move around and consume the algae. Like, eventually that wall will be clean. These guys are swimming around like they think it's, Christmas morning. A lot of food. A lot of food to eat. So so I've got 2. This is right here, is one of them. I've got 2 of them. They're just a little tiny bristlenose catfish is what they're technically called. I can't remember their scientific name, their Latin name, but they are from the catfish genus. So they're related to them. If you are familiar with fish in general in aquariums, you've probably heard of the Plecostomus, which is a common algae eater in a lot of tanks. They do well in lots of environments. They're about as robust as a goldfish, and they grow really fast and stuff too. The problem with those is that they do grow too fast. They get too big, and I don't want that. I want them to stay a maintainable size so that they don't outgrow the tank immediately. But anyway, so these are bristlenose catfish, commonly called bristlenose plecostomus because they look like plecos, but they aren't. They're different species altogether, different family altogether. They're not the same kind of fish at all. They just look alike, and they serve a similar purpose. It's just these stay less than 4 or 5 inches at full grown. So anyway, I bought 2 of them today. They're the albino bristlenose catfish. I don't know where the other one is. I think maybe, yeah, he kind of likes to hide over in this corner here. I think this one's a little shy. And back here he's got a little protection from that heater and some cords and stuff, so he feels a little safer. Oh, and there the other one's coming in here too. They both like it in this corner. When I first put them in, I was afraid, we've got Piggy Rambo here. Pigfish will eat anything and is just a voracious eater, frankly. And when I put the snails in fact, one of the snails that I put in was too small. And Rambo got it in his mouth. I thought that it'd be too big to fit in the mouth, but nope, Rambo got it in, ate the thing, and the snail is now, fish poop. He had a little snail burger day before yesterday. And that's that. That snail's gone. So I was a little worried when I put in those 2 catfish that they would be too small, that Rainbow would just eat them like he did the snails. And in fact, that was a real concern of mine. But the fish store owner told me that there was no way that they would fit in his mouth. And that goldfish, if they can't fit them in their mouth, really aren't mean or aren't a threat at all. They don't have teeth on their mouth like a shark or anything. They don't take a bite out of things. If they can't swallow it in one go, they leave it alone. So if it fits in their mouth, they'll eat it. Like that snail, it's gone. But if they don't fit in the mouth, they leave it alone completely. So, and that does seem to be the case. The plecos or the catfish, we'll just call them plecos. The little algae eaters, these little guys, are pretty small. And when I first put them in, I was afraid that Rambo would have a little fish burger, pleco burger. have some catfish. But he has just left them alone completely. Hasn't even chased them around. So that's good news for me. I was afraid I was committing pesticide, but I think they're going to live. They're going to do their thing. So at some point I don't know, if rainbow keeps it gets too big, I might have to do something about that. But for now we're all good. I ordered some ram's horn snails. The order said 7+. I actually, in fact, got 9. But only 4 of them I thought were large enough for the tank. And so as I was putting those in, I got 3 in, and the 4th one I actually dropped, and it went down through the crack here in the patio, so it's living underneath the patio. Not helping me out at all. So there's 1 snail gone. And then when I put the 5th one in, it was of questionable size, and I shouldn't have put it in because Piggy snarfed him up. But if you look back in the back there, it's kind of hard to see. This tank's icky, and there's stuff on it. It's hard to focus. But back there in the back, there's 1 snail, kind of along the water line, eating algae. And then down here, there's 2 more. One of them hasn't moved at all, and I'm afraid that means that snail has not survived. That the shock of entry into this system was too much for it. The harshness of transport plus that has killed that snail. But I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in my other tank. So I've got a small little critter carrier thing, little plastic thing with a handle. But it's a water sealed container. So I'm going to I've got my other snails in there, and I'll show you that in another video. But I'll take the 1 possibly dead snail out of this tank and see if I can and put him in with the other snails and see if he is alive and just not moving. And if that's the case, I'll probably put him back, or if he's dead. But I should be able to see him move around in that other aquarium pretty easily. So anyway, so I've got 3 snails in here now, and those 2 plecos, catfish things, whatever. And we'll see what kind of a dent they make in this. Again, I'm probably going to scrape the tank over time anyway, just to catch up. But I think hopefully those little catfish will keep the tank in better condition, or at least closer to normal condition, closer to clear condition. So anyway, I'll post another video with the snail info, but for now I'm just glad I didn't give Rainbow a big fish snack by adding those 2 fish. As they get bigger, plecos they're a little bit shy, I guess, and they're also mostly nocturnal. So these guys will probably want a cave of their own as they get bigger. So I'll probably add another structure of some sort, probably just another PVC tube over on this side maybe, so both plecos have a home to go to. But the guy told me that when they're this small, they don't really care, and that they're not terribly territorial anyway. Plecos are, these catfish are a little less so. So anyway, that's that. Next time I'll be back with some info on my snails. Until then.